Krishna Productions presents a dramatic narration of the book Srimad Bhagavatam, also known as the Bhagavat Purana. Srimad Bhagavatam is an epic philosophical and literary classic, and it holds a prominent position in India's voluminous written wisdom. The timeless wisdom of India is expressed in the Vedas, ancient Sanskrit texts that touch upon all fields of human knowledge. Originally preserved through oral tradition, the Vedas were first put into writing 5,000 years ago by Srila Vyasadeva, the literary incarnation of God. After compiling the Vedas, Vyasadeva set forth their essence in the aphorisms known as Vedanta Sutras. Srimad Bhagavatam is Vyasadeva's commentary on his own Vedanta Sutras. It was written in the maturity of his spiritual life, under the direction of Narada Muni, his spiritual master. Referred to as the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam is the most complete and authoritative exposition of Vedic knowledge. After compiling the Bhagavatam, Vyasa impressed the synopsis of it upon his son, the sage Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami subsequently recited the entire Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit in an assembly of learned saints on the bank of the Ganges at Hastinapur, now known as Delhi. Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of the world and was a great Rajarsi or saintly king. Having received a warning that he would die within a week, he renounced his entire kingdom and retired to the bank of the Ganges to fast until death and receive spiritual enlightenment. The Bhagavatam begins with Emperor Parikshit's sober inquiry to Shukdev Goswami. "You are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die. Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me." Shukdev Goswami's answer to this question, and numerous other questions posed by Maharaj Parikshit concerning everything from the nature of the self to the origin of the universe, held the assembled sages in rapt attention continuously for the 7 days leading to the king's death. The sage Suta Goswami, who was present on the bank of the Ganges when Shukdev Goswami first recited Srimad Bhagavatam, later repeated the Bhagavatam before a gathering of sages in the forest of Naimisharanya. Those sages concerned about the spiritual welfare of the people in general had gathered to perform a long continuous chain of sacrifices to counteract the degrading influence of the incipient age of Kali. In response to the sage's request that he speak the essence of Vedic wisdom, Suta Goswami repeated from memory the entire 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam as spoken by Shukdev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. The reader of Srimad Bhagavatam hears Suta Goswami relate the questions of Maharaj Parikshit and the answers of Shukdev Goswami. Also, Suta Goswami sometimes responds directly to questions put by Shonaka Rishi, the spokesman for the sages gathered at Naimisharanya. One therefore simultaneously hears two dialogues. One between Maharaj Pariksit and Shukdev Goswami on the bank of the Ganges, and another at Naimisharanya between Sutta Goswami and the sages at Naimisharanya forest, headed by Shonaka Rishi. Furthermore, while instructing King Pariksit, Shukdev Goswami often relates historical episodes and gives accounts of lengthy philosophical discussions between such great souls as the saint Maitreya and his disciple Vidura. With this understanding of the history of the Bhagavatam, the listener will easily be able to follow its intermingling of dialogues and events from various sources. Since philosophical wisdom, not chronological order, is most important in the text, one need only be attentive to the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam to appreciate fully its profound message. This edition of the Bhagavatam was translated by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and was published by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Srila Prabhupada's consummate Sanskrit scholarship and intimate familiarity with Vedic culture and thought, as well as with the modern way of life, combined to reveal to the West a magnificent exposition of this important classic. This makes him one of the world's most distinguished teachers of Indian religious and philosophical thought. The book itself contains numerous commentaries with each verse. However, these have been omitted from this narration only to keep the number of tapes comprising this series to a limited amount, and to present the continuity of the translations so that the listener may easily remember the stories and their philosophical points. Nonetheless, it should be clearly understood that if the listener wishes to unmistakably and truly comprehend the meaning of each verse, then he or she must first read the commentaries. The commentaries provide absolutely indispensable guidance, direction, and clarification, for they present both deep and esoteric meanings of Vedic thought, as transmitted by the Supreme Lord Himself to the previous Acharyas, as well as to Srila Prabhupada directly. This narration has been inspired by and is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and to Lord Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and to all their eternal associates. Taking shelter of their lotus feet, I, Amala Bhaktadas, pray and beg them to enable me, in spite of my imperfections and weaknesses, to narrate this holy Srimad Bhagavatam in a manner that may give pleasure to their hearts and to their devotees' hearts as well. May all who hear this narration be filled with the constant desire to glorify the Lord and His pure devotees with eternal, loving service. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter of his lotus feet. My